Before I begin this next song, I do want to address something connected to this particular musical. For those of you who have the soundtrack or who know the entire contents of the soundtrack, you will no doubt notice that I am skipping over a song. And the reason I'm skipping over this song, entitled Why We Like Spelling, is that despite the fact that it is on the soundtrack, I am fairly convinced that it's not actually in the musical itself. See, I've seen this musical 5 times, once on Broadway, and I have never actually heard this song performed during the musical. Now, to be fair, when I saw it on Broadway, that was a while ago, I didn't know the songs at all, so it's possible that I heard it and I just don't remember it, but I don't think that's the case. And it's also entirely possible that it was sung by the original Broadway cast in the original Broadway production, and then when they moved on to a different cast, they got rid of that song. That's also a possibility. I don't know the full story, but I'm not going to be talking about this song, which is not to say I don't like it. I do, but since it's not part of the musical, I'm going to go ahead and not talk about it. So, let's move right on to the next song.
My friend.
Now, this next song is called Prayer of the Comfort Counselor, and it is the first and also only song that is primarily Mitch Mahoney's. Now, you could easily make the argument that Pandemonium Reprise, or Reprise, is Mitch Mahoney's song too, and in some ways it is, but because it's not as long, and because most of the song actually isn't his, I don't really count it as his. So this particular song comes about because the final audience member gets out. And I'm guessing because it's the final audience member, they decided to have a bigger song to say goodbye to this particular individual. And that's what's happening in the plot, but really why this song exists, or at least one of the reasons that I feel it exists, is because it shows us an aspect of Mitch's character that we don't necessarily see all that often. You see, our introduction of Mitch Mahoney is that he is here being the comfort counselor due to his community service. We never actually find out what it is that he did that made him have to do community service, but in every production I've seen, Mitch Mahoney is shown to be this kind of abrasive person. He's also kind of thuggish in his own way, and he's usually a bigger individual. He usually looks like somebody who can beat you up if you don't do what he tells you to. And yet, despite this kind of rough exterior and his mysterious past, he actually does care about the children that he's trying to comfort. So much so that by the end of the musical, it's revealed that he took on this job as comfort counselor full-time, even when he didn't have to continue doing it for his community service. And this song really embodies the fact that he just wants to make these participants feel better about themselves even when they get out. Because the song is telling this person that you might have gotten out, but you are easily the best looking person we've had. And really that's one of the lyrics. It's you're the best looking we've had all day. And the reason I say is because it depends on if the last person is a male or a female, what he says in that particular one. He either says dude or he says dame. And he's also letting this person know that they are still very intelligent because they got this far, and that they shouldn't let this particular moment stop them from continuing to spell, continuing to try to strive for being better. Which is really Mitch's role in the whole thing, is to try to make them not feel so bad when they get out. And it's an aspect of his personality that's really well done, because it's pretty subtly done, and so it's not the main thing that he cares about these kids, but it's still fairly obvious that he does. So that's all I have to say about this week's song, so tune in next week for next week's song. See you then.
Goodbye!